Do I? Huh. What gave it away?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still...
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry.
Yes, ma'am. Please, don't beat us anymore.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of the ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as You come here to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than
Mercy! Please, have mercy!
You've made your bed.
We may both be desert dwellers, but there is one thing that I understand better than you. The resurrection of the Scarlet King will only result in war. And war serves no one. The people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but we wish to preserve our way of life. A war would only cause us to lose all that we have.
We understand. We're sorry. I'll tell you everything I know. Please, just let us go.
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in.
They're called Village Keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret it.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread word about the Scarlet King's resurrection and talked us into helping him. In return, I'm not sure.
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my hand.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know anything. It was all him.
2.
He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery guy takes them from there. You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear. Just ask them if you don't believe me.
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not that guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu? What do you mean?
Smooth.
Okay, speak.
If my suspicions are correct, this mystery man they speak... Some time ago, people from the academia attempted to take... It strikes me now that this secretive...
Which means it's highly likely that the academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the... They were the ones who brought them here to begin with. Now they're...
Not the academia again.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the Village Keeper?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the academia. Regardless, our top...
You're right. Isaka's still waiting for...
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to...
Yes. Pack up.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone's ready. Let's get some food in us and then we'll... Whoa! Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing...
You were gone for ages! And now you're suddenly sitting... Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname! Never mind! Paimon's got nothing. There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy.
Well, You've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru Village and keep searching for the truth of this matter, yeah?
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying. Enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with...
Al-Haytham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru Village. Bold of you to question our choices.
Yeah, you're all talk.
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which...
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important...
Huh? Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But, before that, you need to understand where she's coming.
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru Village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, remember what Candace said. Most people in Aru Village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share it. Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, the reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life...
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority.
Right. You were asking about the
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are Scarlet King fanatics in the village. If she sounds too...
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed...
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them, even though they act a little strange.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru Village at night.
Then why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this...
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
We're on it!
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier, I've brought someone with me.
Mr. Al-Haytham, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify.
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler? Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of the Scarlet King can truly change Sumeru for the better? Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to... Traveler, do you believe our lives will get...
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be... But even so, we've met lots of people from different... We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest...
Al-Haytham told us you have your reasons. It's okay.
The fact is that I'm... only one side of... Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in the Scarlet King.
Speaking of which, the Radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that...
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretend... And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation.
You can tell them. I'm sure she'll keep your...
All right. I'll tell you what I told Al-Haytham. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion. It used to be louder and more frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Yeah, let's go!
First get into position like this, then move like that. Yep, that's it.
Sounds good to me.
For you.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape, and there's sand everywhere.
Empty and forgotten. An ideal place to hide people.
Monsters, watch out!
With all my strength.
Calling Emma, help!
There is no escape.
Rest and rebuild!
Shine down. There is no escape. Inazuma shines eternal. Illusion shattered.
Just like we rehearsed! Go! Allow me! Here! Dance with the waves! They were easier to deal with than super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, something like that. He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one. Let's go in and take a look. Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then, I'm taking a break.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read? What are you reading? Let Paimon see!
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion in contrast with an object in forced motion? Huh? When free from external influences, every entity displays the tendency to follow its natural trajectory?
So, you got that?
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya! How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this. Hey, what good is that gonna do for you? You're acting like one of those... Hey, what gives? Shouldn't you be the one providing for... Oh, right. Okay, then. Thank you for working so hard and earning so much more. If it weren't for you, Paimon would probably still be floating around in the ocean somewhere. Thank you. Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Something is off about the interior here. As I thought, there's a hidden structure.
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here. Let's keep exploring.
Relaxing days like this are nice. Let's take it easy.
you shall perish! Absurd! Illusion shattered!
Positions. Down. Forward and up. Help.
All eyes on me! Shine down!
Yeah.
That's close enough.
Torn to oblivion!
Look, there's someone over there. Good idea. Let's approach him slowly.
Wait. You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are also, why is he the only one?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind of...
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest. Leaving that question aside for the moment. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a car.
Loaded with...
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at... Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh, now that you mention...
Correct. The academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the academia spread a false rumor of the Scarlet King's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. Beneath the many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to, even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of the Scarlet King and look for no further explanation. That the notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like...
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia...
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could...
Extracted? You mean...
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they...
So, the human brain...
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. Or perhaps, his curiosity got the better of him.
Hyman's a little confused.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire... However, I can't help but... The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands...
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge. But I'm not particular. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects?
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The Academia's actions, whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. This matter needs to be corrected. Just like
Wait! Didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor...
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria, there is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Tibet.
Probably not.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into... The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean...
Hyman's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the Academia, but you're not one of them.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of... Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing... He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
You must be tired. You should.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're...
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar hospital served as the...
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for... Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village.
Yeah, why is...
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is... Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Alhaitham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, if you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for every so often comes a Nyagarbaha day. On this day, the academia enters new information. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment.
You're saying that the academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important.
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It predicted my every move.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easy. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now. If the academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be... Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him!
Please, wait! I want to go too!
You want to go too?
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be...
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Remember to pack some food with you! Paimon feels like we're missing someone.